Jack London, Love of Life, Part 2. And into that lake flowed a small stream, the water of which wasn't milky. There was rush grass on that stream. This he remembered well, but no timber, and he would follow it till its first trickle ceased at a divide. He would cross this divide to the first trickle of another stream following to the west, which he would follow until it emptied into the river Dees, and here he would find a cache under an upturned canoe and piled over with many rocks. And in this cache would be ammunition for his empty gun, fish hooks and lines, a small net all, the utilities or the killing and snaring of food. Also he would find flour not much a piece of bacon and some beans. Bill would be waiting for him there, and they would paddle away south down the Dees to the Great Bear Lake, and south across the lake they would go, ever south, till they gained the Mackenzie, and south, still south, they would go while the winter raced vainly after them, and the ice formed in the eddies, and the days grew chill and crisp south to some warm Hudson Bay Company post, where timber grew tall and generous, and there was grub without end. There were the thorns of the man as he strove onward, but hard as he strove with his body, he strove equally hard with his mind, trying to think that Bill had not deserted him, that Bill would surely wait for him at the cache. He was compelled to think this thought, or else there would not be any use to strive, and he would have lain down and died. And as the dim wall of the sun sank slowly into the northwest, he covered every inch and many times of his and Bill's flight south before the downcoming winter, and he conned the grub of the cache and the grub of the Hudson Bay Company post over and over again. He had not eaten for 2 days. For a far longer time he had not had all he wanted to eat. Often he stooped and picked pale muskeg berries, put them into his mouth, and chewed and swallowed them. A muskeg berry is a bit of seed enclosed in a bit of water. In the mouth, the water melts away, and the seed chews sharp and bitter. The man knew there was no nourishment in the berries, but he chewed them patiently with a hope greater than knowledge and defying experience. At 9 o'clock he stopped his toy on a rocky ledge, and from sheer weariness and weakness staggered and fell. He lay for some time without movement on his side. Then he slipped out of the pack straps and clumsily dragged himself into a sitting posture. It was not yet dark, and in the lingering twilight he groped about among the rocks for shreds of dry moss. When he had gathered a heap, he built a fire, a smouldering, smudgy fire, and put a tin pot of water on to boil. He unwrapped his bag, and the first thing he did was to count his matches. There were 67. He counted them 3 times to make sure. He divided them into several portions, wrapping them in oil paper, disposing of one bunch in his empty tobacco pouch, of another bunch in the inside band of his battered head, of a third bunch under his shirt on the chest. This accomplished, a panic came upon him, and he unwrapped them all and counted them again. There were still 67. He dried his wet footgear by the fire. The moccasins were in soggy shreds. The blanket socks were worn through in places, and his feet were raw and bleeding. His ankle was throbbing, and he gave it an examination. It had swollen to the size of his knee. He tore a long strip from one of his 2 blankets and bound the ankle tightly. He tore other strips and bound them about his feet to serve for both moccasins and socks. Then he drank the pot of water, steaming hot, wound his watch, and crawled between his blankets. He slept like a dead man. The brief darkness around midnight came and went. The sun arose in the northeast. At least the day dawned in that quarter, for the sun was hidden by grey clouds. At 6 o'clock he awoke quietly, lying on his back. He gazed straight up into the grey sky and knew that he was hungry. As he rolled over on his elbow, he was startled by a loud snort, and saw a bull caribou regarding him with alert curiosity. The animal was not more than 50 feet away, and instantly into the man's mind leaped the vision and the savor of a caribou steak sizzling and frying over a fire. Mechanically he reached for the empty gun, drew a bit, and pulled the trigger. The bull snorted and leaped away, his hoofs rattling and clattering as he fled across the ledges. The man cursed and flung the empty gun from him. He groaned aloud as he started to drag himself to his feet. It was a slow and arduous task. His joints were like rusty hinges. They worked harshly in their sockets with much friction, and each bending or unbending was accomplished only through a sheer exertion of will. When he finally gained his feet, another minute or so was consumed in straightening up so that he could stand erect as a man should stand.